Okay, in this video we are going to be working through PrepTest 64, game number 3. And in this game we have 4 cyclists that are testing out 4 different bicycles. But they're testing them over 2 days, so each of our cyclists will be riding 2 different bicycles. So our cyclists are R, S, T, and Y. Our bicycles are F, G, H, and J. And even though it kind of looks like 2 sets of variables, these guys are really sort of fixed variables. So we're going to set this up basically like a matching game. We've got F, G, H, and J down here. These are our bicycles. They're not going to move at all. Instead, we're just going to place an R, an S, a T, and a Y into each of these rows to represent people who test on day 1 and people who test on day 2. And the instructions do tell us that nobody tests the same bicycle twice. So let's jump right into the rules. Our first rule: R cannot test F. Easy. So we can just go like that. Our second rule: Y cannot test J. Again, pretty straightforward. Our next rule: T must be one of the testers for H. These are nice and simple rules thus far. And our final rule: the bicycle that Y tests on the first day must be tested by S on the second day. So we don't know which bicycle that is, so we can't write it in yet, but we can say whatever Y tests on the first day will be tested by S on the second day. So we're going to have that block every single time. Great, and that's all of our rules for this game, but let's take a moment to think through some inferences. There's not a lot we can do with contrapositives or combining rules, but one thing we can notice here is that if Y and S must be a block together, they cannot go here, where H is taking up one of the available spots, and they cannot go here where Y is not allowed. Therefore, there are only 2 options for Y and S. They can go in row F, right here, or they can go in row G. And what that means is we have limited options. So let's go ahead and draw them out on the next page. So limited options. First of all, I've got my rules and my inferences over here. We need Y over S as a block, and we've already determined that Y over S must be in F or G. So, got a weird order of drawings here. Sorry about that. Let me just zoom through all of that. Here's the dividing line between our 2 options. In our first one, we have Y and S testing bicycle F. In our second one, we have Y and S testing bicycle G. And we kept the rest of our rules, which told us that T must test H, Y cannot test J, and R cannot test F. So here are the limited options. This is about as far as we're going to get in this setup. So it is time to move on to the questions.